We know that as part of what happened in those riots, you had the Confederate flag flying in the Capitol for the first time. It didn't even happen during the Civil War. The Associated Press talks about dozens of the people who were charged spewing extremist rhetoric. The FBI has linked at least 40 defendants to extremist groups or movements, including at least 16 members of the neo-fascist Proud Boys, at least 5 connected to the Oath Keepers, etc. Is the crux of this lawsuit and the linking it with the Ku Klux Klan Act, is it about the racism of the people that were involved, or is it about the organizational sort of effort that somehow is connected to the way the Klan used to behave in the view of the NAACP and Congressman Thompson?
It's all of the above. Domestic terrorism in this country have always been rooted in white supremacy. Let's be clear about that. The actions of the 30s, 40s, up to present has been the basis of people who see certain citizens as legitimate and other citizens as not legitimate. The Klan Act was put in place to ensure Southern legislators will have the ability to exercise their sworn duties as congresspersons without intimidations and fear of retaliation. What we have seen as a result of January 6th is the need for the act to be enforced and fully, because the Republicans in the Senate refused to carry out their responsibility in the face of all of the facts that Donald Trump, Giuliani, all the groups connected to them planned this out well before January 6th and carried out in a way in which they were seeking to delegitimize African-American votes across the country.
And we know that the Klan, that the NAACP has actually been involved and been a party to suits against the Ku Klux Klan itself in the past. In one case, there was a big settlement that wound up basically making the NAACP the owners of the Klan's former property. That happened in 1987. What is the outcome that this lawsuit is seeking to have? Is it seizure of assets? Is it what is it that Congressman Thompson is trying to? What is his end game? What does he want out of the suit?
So first of all, he's the first of what we hope to be many members of Congress to join this lawsuit because no one has been held accountable. It has been our experience as African Americans that if you allow this type of domestic terrorism to go unchecked, it would only expand and spread. So we must hold people accountable. Secondly, if there are any assets to be seized, we must cripple their ability to carry out any of these things in the future. And then thirdly, when it comes to Donald Trump, if we don't cut off the serpent's head, we will be guaranteed that the snake will bite. And at some point, he must be held accountable for all the harm he has caused, not only to the African-American community, but to our democracy. How can we go and fight abroad the Taliban if we're unwilling to address the domestic terrorists that live in our backyards?
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.